So here we are in Ruse, and that's spelled R-U-S-E. That's, of course, the Cyrillic alphabet there. It is R-U-S-E in the Western alphabet. We're in the Monument of Liberty Park. That's the Monument of Liberty behind. I was here a few months ago, and I was only in a t-shirt and shorts, and I was too hot. I was hiding in the shade. I was standing by the fountains to get the splash. And as you can gather now, the winter's setting in. Although it's still a nice sunny day, it's cold and windy, and definitely time to put a coat on. I think the locals probably did that a month or two ago, but even for a Brit, it's starting to feel cold now. We'll take a look around. If you want to get up from the river promenade level to street level without using one of the staircases, this is the answer. It's a spiral ramp that takes you up to the street level, which we're using today to get to a restaurant that I discovered in the summer. From the street level you get good views across the river, and you get to visit some interesting places like the Museum of Baba Tonka. But that's not why we're up here today. We're going back to Terassa. I was up here in the middle of the evening sitting on an outside terrace and watching the sunset over Romania. Well, to see the sunset at this time of year you have to go late afternoon because the sun sets early, and you don't sit outside because it's too cold. So this is the view from inside the restaurant Terassa. This is the view across to Ruse railway station from the apartment we're staying in the city, and I'm going to give you a tour of the apartment now just as a contrast to the place we stayed in Spištov. As you just saw, we have a balcony here, and inside the building there is high-level security, which we have key fobs for, and we come up in the lift, which also needs the key fob to operate, come into this hall, which has got lots of storage and coat hanging space, and just off it there's a room which has utility facilities like a washing machine. This is the fizzy kitchen. It has all the amenities you could possibly need, including a coffee maker, the most important thing. The couch will turn into a bed, I believe, but of course we have a separate bedroom here, so we don't need that. Perhaps the most important thing is a dining table where I can put my bananas. The bedroom has a desk with ample storage. There's a TV in here as well, and an air conditioner, and a huge double bed, the likes of which we haven't seen in Bulgaria before, and note there are bedside lamps on either side of the bed. I'm sure you'll agree this is a very fine bathroom, and it seems that these really large water tanks are becoming the norm in Bulgaria, and you'll easily get a couple of showers out of this. It's quite a large bathroom, it's a wet room, and it's got a sink with loads of storage underneath and alongside. We're supposed to check out at 12 o'clock, so we better make our way out. There's still a couple of hours until our train over to Romania is due, so these gardens right outside the apartment block are a good place to sit and watch a disabled gentleman feeding the birds. With my genius discount from booking.com, this place will cost about £228 a week, depending on the exchange rate. And did you see who was watching the birds along with us? It's cold today. I'm wearing a jumper for the first time. It's been screwed up in my case for the last few weeks, but we've got to Bucharest and we're on our way back to England, and that's going to be even colder, so putting the jumper on seemed a good idea to me. Yesterday we came up from Ruse in Bulgaria on the train, and much to my delight they've actually put a modern train on that route now, which is good because it has lots of nice seating. It's got windows that are probably twice the size of the ones on the old trains, so panoramic views, particularly as you cross the River Danube, and you can see the driver. It's something I have mentioned once before, but the driver of these trains can be seen right down the centre of the train, sitting in his middle position. Now, our drivers at home sit on the left or the right. They sit in the middle at this huge console, and for him, he can see right ahead across the bridge as he drives from Bulgaria to Romania. Strange thing for trains of this ilk, I couldn't find any charging points anywhere near the seats. There were a couple near where the toilet was. If you look forward on the train, you can see the first class compartment, although it's not that obvious because the doors are glass, but it's up by the driver. And then if you look towards the rear, you'll see the toilet compartment sticking out. And that's one of those modern ones with the curved doors that's electrically opened. So pretty good train, but no Wi-Fi on board. I suspect it's pretty impossible to implement for the sort of terrain they're going on. When we got here, we're in a little backstreet hotel, about a 10-minute walk from the North Station, and it's got a balcony, as you probably gathered. The houses around here are quite nice, and we walked down to the river last night and just crossed over the river, saw the first restaurant we saw all lit up on a corner site, really lit up, I can assure you, and it was a pleasant experience right through. So the next thing I'm going to show you is a short piece of video that we took last night, and there were a few surprises. We take a shortcut across yet another park to get to the riverfront, cross over the river, and are attracted by the lights at this restaurant. And it's not just the lights that attracted us, there are various other things on show, from stuffed animals to Italian cars. As you may gather, it's an Italian restaurant and we got some fine food in here. And we're people watching out in the street.
Yeah.
Just when I thought we'd seen everything in the restaurant, two more little Fiats turned up, a red one and a white one. And the white one had a star role to play at the entrance. Back inside, Ruth has ordered her peppermint tea, not the usual tea bag situation. They actually had some mint leaves and they boiled them in water. They made the tea fresh. A little difficult to drink. The toilets were in the basement, and that was an interesting trip as well, because you have to walk through what is effectively their wine cellar. And it was all open, so they obviously trust people. That really was a wonderful evening, our last night abroad before we headed back to the UK. I think there's one more thing that I should show you. You'll have gathered by now that tiramisu is one of my favourite desserts. Well, this was probably the best because they made it at the table. So let's go back to the restaurant and watch how you make a tiramisu. must have been eating tiramisus for over 50 years now, but never in my life has anyone made it right in front of me. That was an experience that I will treasure. The next morning we're back to the railway station to get the train up to the airport, but again we've got a few hours to spare from checking out at the hotel to catching the train. So we sit in the gardens right opposite the station where I sat in the summer and absolutely baked. Much nicer temperatures today, and sat and watched the trams go by. And that was Bucharest North.